It's possible that after my statements, the company will start hunting me again. So please subscribe to my second channel and to my X account so we can stay in touch. All links are in the description. Thank you. It just became known that the company Invis received $25 million in investment for their project, with no details specified. There are already assumptions that this is the first investment for the Skibidi movie, but as we all understood long ago, there is no movie. And there won't be one. Everything that was previously said about the movie was just advertising and promotion of the project. All we have right now is a video from Michael Bay, who showed us a clip created by artificial intelligence. And then, as you remember, he blocked me because I asked him for help. In short, today is going to be interesting. Hit the like button since it helps promote the video, and also subscribe to the channel because unfortunately most people watch without subscribing. Well, let's begin. I don't know who invested $25 million into this company, but their expectation of $300 million is an illusion. Just like the illusion that everything is going well right now, that viewers are satisfied, and that the movie is being prepared. As many already know, we have been fighting this company since October 2025, and they simply ignore us and wait for the hate to die down. But as you can see, there is no decline. And moreover, we achieved that a popular YouTube lawyer named Mike, who has a 30 million audience, is going to make an expose video about this company. Knowing this company and how they operate, namely ignoring their own audience, threatening with lawsuits, sending strikes against their own YouTubers, and ultimately forcing the seizure of copyright, I can say that these 25 million will definitely not save them. On the contrary, it will put them in an even worse position. Because this money will have to be paid back. And how do you pay it back when you haven't released new episodes for more than half a year, and your own audience hates you? Before we figure out where this money even came from, let's remember what happened a year ago. And now, let's find out who invested $25 million into this company. According to a publication in Variety, the investment came not from a single mysterious sponsor, but from two firms: BC Partners Credit, the credit division of BC Partners, and Variance Capital, a private investment company working in media, sports, and entertainment. In other words, this is not the money of a fan who believes in Skibidi Toilet. This is the cold calculation of investment funds that expect to make a profit. And here's where it gets interesting. The same article states that these 25 million are just the beginning. In the long term, BC Partners Credit is considering investing more than $300 million into the so-called creator economy through the Invis platform. Sounds impressive, right? But let's read more carefully. The key word here is considering. It doesn't mean that $300 million has already been allocated. It means that in theory, if everything goes well, the fund might invest such a sum. Or it might not if the first results disappoint them. And this is where the company's main vulnerability lies. They received money under the promise to build, as Adam Goodman himself put it, a billion-dollar studio of a new type. The investors gave them startup capital, expecting growth and profit. But what will happen when these investors see the real picture? The company's main asset, Skibidi Toilet, hasn't released new episodes for more than half a year. The channel's audience is unsubscribing by the tens of thousands. The scandal around the brand isn't dying down. And now, a popular lawyer with a 30 million audience is preparing a public expose. The investors from BC Partners and Variance are not naive people. They are professionals who carefully monitor their investments. And when they start doing due diligence on what they invested in, they will discover a toxic asset surrounded by legal risks and a reputational crisis. This is certainly not the picture they were most likely painted when the deal was made. Pay attention to another important point from the article. Goodman stated that the company is in active conversations with a number of studios and partners regarding the movie and series. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, that Skibidi is one of the most globally recognized original franchises to emerge from that world. So choosing the right home is critical, and there is real momentum around that process. Sounds nice, but let's translate it from corporate language into human terms. Active conversations with a number of studios means that they still don't have a concrete partner. Over 2 years of developing the franchise, with Michael Bay as creative advisor behind them, they still haven't launched real production of the movie. Only negotiations, and only talks about negotiations. And this fully confirms what we've been saying for months. There is no movie. There are endless promises of a movie which are used to attract investors. It's a classic scheme. You take a popular brand, promise to turn it into a film franchise, raise money on that basis, and the actual production keeps getting postponed and postponed. The company also appointed a new president, Mark Shedletsky, a man with more than 25 years of experience in media. According to statements, he will lead business operations and merger and acquisition strategy, looking for new creators and channels to scale. What does this tell us? It tells us that the company is not betting specifically on Skibidi Toilet. They are building a business machine for buying up other people's content. For them, Skibidi Toilet is just the first and loudest asset in a portfolio they want to inflate to $1 billion. And this, perhaps, is the saddest part of the whole story. For Adam and his investors, Skibidi Toilet was never a work of art. It was always just a financial instrument, an asset you buy, package, and resell for more. They don't care about the universe Alexei created. They don't care about the viewers who spent years analyzing every frame. They only care about the value multiplier and the return on investment. Shedletsky admitted in the same article that the company is in negotiations with about a dozen creators about partnerships, but declined to name them. Think about it. A dozen creators. A company that publicly failed in its relationship with its most famous author is at the same time preparing to bring another dozen of the same into its orbit. And each of them risks ending up in the same situation as Alexei, signing a contract under beautiful promises and then discovering they've lost control over their own creation. That's exactly why the fight for Dafuk Boom is not only about Dafuk Boom, it's about precedent. If the company comes out of this story unpunished, if the investors give them another few $100 million, they will continue doing the same thing to other authors. Our fight is a warning to the entire industry, a signal that the audience has a voice, and that voice can destroy even the most beautiful investment plans. Now let's think about what this money changes in the balance of power. On one hand, $25 million is a safety cushion. The company can now afford expensive lawyers, can drag out any processes, can try to buy its way out of problems. That's bad news for us. But there's a flip side. Investor money always comes with obligations. Now, the company has not only an angry audience, but also a board of directors and investors to answer to. Ted Goldthorpe, partner and head of BC Partners Credit, has joined the board. This means that every decision the company makes is now being watched by people who care only about profit. And here's the irony. These investors could become our involuntary allies. Because if Mike's expose gains momentum, if the scandal becomes loud enough, it's the investors who will be the first to get nervous. They don't need a toxic asset dragging down their fund's reputation. They invested in a promising creator platform, not in a public scandal about suppressing an author. And if they see Skibidi Toilet turning into a reputational bomb, they themselves might start pressuring the company, demanding it either solve the problem with Alexei or get rid of the toxic asset. So, paradoxically, these $25 million could play against the company itself. Money attracts attention. Attention attracts scrutiny. Scrutiny exposes problems. And Invis, as we know, has more than enough problems. That's why I don't see this news as a reason for despair. Quite the opposite. The more money and attention come to this company, the higher the stakes, and the louder the fall will be when the truth comes out. Our task is simple. Keep doing what we're doing. Support Mike, spread information, keep up the pressure. Money won't buy them the love of the audience and won't erase what they did. The article states that Skibidi Toilet has more than 47 million subscribers, over 20 billion views, and almost 9 billion visits in licensed Roblox projects. At first glance, impressive. But think about it. All these numbers were accumulated while Alexei was making the series. This is his legacy. The company simply inherited the finished result and is now waving it in front of investors as if it were their own achievement. And here's what's telling. These 47 million subscribers were gained before the conflict. And since Alexei's departure, the channel has only been losing audience. In other words, the investors are shown the peak numbers of the past, not the real dynamics of the present. It's like selling a car by showing photos of when it was new, while staying silent about the fact that the engine won't start now. It's also interesting who stands at the head of all this. Adam Goodman is the former head of Paramount Pictures and DreamWorks Studios. In other words, a man from classic Hollywood. From that very system, accustomed to owning, controlling, and dictating. And this man takes on an internet phenomenon born of a completely different culture. A culture of free authors and direct connection with the audience. Goodman is used to a model where the studio is in charge and the creator is a hired worker. But Skibidi Toilet grew precisely because it was the complete opposite of that model. And you know what's the most telling? In the list of the company's achievements, besides Skibidi Toilet, they mention some stream format for Twitch, a horror film featuring creators from FaZe Clan, and some projects with HBO Max and STX. Notice, nothing truly big. Skibidi Toilet is their only truly major asset. Their entire billion-dollar dream rests on one series created by one person whom they themselves pushed out. Remove Skibidi Toilet, and what's left of their grand plans? Practically nothing. That's why they cling to the franchise despite all the damage. It's not a matter of principle or pride, although that's there too. It's a matter of survival. Without Skibidi Toilet, their entire investment story falls apart. They would simply have nothing to show the investors who promised $300 million, so they will cling to this brand to the very end, even if it slowly dies in their hands. And in this lies our strength. We understand what the investors, perhaps, have not yet fully realized. That the value of Skibidi Toilet is not the logo, not the trademark, and not the view counts of past years. The value is Alexei, his vision, his approach, his connection with the audience. So when the company trumpets about 25 million and dreams of 300, I see not strength, but desperation. They are trying to use money to cover a hole that cannot be covered with money. You can buy lawyers, you can buy PR, you can buy new presidents and advisors, but you cannot buy what made Skibidi Toilet special. That left along with Alexei. This has been Super Cameraman. See you very soon. Bye, everyone.